Ah, the French champagne.
And Kate Beckinsale was, I think she was hot garbage.
She
was
wasn't
so
good
bad.
either.
She was so bad that I didn't realize it was her until I looked it up in the credits later.
Yeah.
I thought she was like some new LA actress who they hired for like $50 to be in a movie.
A Kate Beckinsale type. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But what do you mean?
Fun fact also, she agreed to do that movie for scale if the director allowed her to wear her lucky hat, which she's wearing.
The striped one?
Yeah.
It's the one that she's wearing
be.
when she confronts him at the firefighters retreat. I think.
I just made a note of that. It's like, so she found out that her brother's family is majority little people, and that Matthew McConaughey is an outlier in that statistic. And she wanted to go confront him at his firefighter training retreat.
Yeah,
and get the know-how. So she packed up her stuff, went to prepare to have a very serious conversation. So she put on a very silly hat. You gotta have a silly hat
pajamas
for a serious conversation.
Yeah, didn't pack up at all. She just hopped in the car with what she was wearing and fucking
brought her like
silly hat.
His silly hat.
And drove for 4 hours to go confront him.
It's hard to explain. If you haven't seen this movie, imagine something sort of like a Dr. Seuss. It's like from Whoville. It's like this. I don't know what. It's like a beanie that turns into. It's like a funnel. It's like a loose funnel.
It's like a Charles Dickens Ebenezer Scrooge sleeping hat, but if it was the floor of a 50s diner.
And that's her silly hat for serious conversations.
And here's my question. If you are, this is complete acting notes maybe, or this is general notes. If you are an actor such as Kate Beckinsale and you agree to do this bullshit for scale because they're allowing you to wear your fun hat, are you A, so rich you've gone insane? Or B, I don't think there's a B. Is Kate Beckinsale insane?
I don't think Kate Beckinsale was that rich in 2003. Was she just like pumping out movies at that point?
She had her fit, but like at what point does money become something that you can just not earn it so you can wear your hat? Or is she a nutter that loves her hat? I don't know.
Look, I think you undervalue the power of luck. You know, it's way more valuable than money.
That's true. Maybe it would have made this movie better if she'd been allowed to wear it for every scene.
You know,
she
probably thinks that because she wore her lucky hat in this movie, she landed the Underworld franchise. You know,
that's true.
It's probably because of the lucky hat.
Kate, we saw your lucky hat. How'd you like to be in a film?
We thought you'd be a great vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's hard to explain the story of Tiptoes, which we're of course starting with because you have to. It's such a captivatingly bad movie. So it's 90 minutes and. You can tell once you hear the fact that it was cut down for something larger, it makes so much sense because it goes for an hour 10 even, and it seems like the whole movie is just going to be about them resolving the issue of his family history essentially, and dealing with a new birth. And you're like, okay, and then you're like 20 minutes, if that, from the end of the movie, and suddenly it's like. Fade to black, fade in, baby's born. Fade to black, fade in, the baby is a bit older and it's crying. And then it's like now they've broken up and it's dramatic and she's at a cabin with his brother. And then he comes back and he wants to make it work, but she says no or something. And then
yeah, right. That is every scene in the last 30 minutes of the film is Matthew McConaughey's there. He's mad. He sits down. He says something and they have to think. And then the next scene, he's mad. They have to sit down and they think some more. Then
the movie at the very end, she's still at the cabin with Matthew McConaughey's brother, with Rolf, played by Gary Oldman. Mm-hmm. They kiss and it is very out of place. And then hard credits, fucking slam the curtains down. This show is over. Go home, everyone. I literally leapt forward and clapped when
Give that man an Academy Award.
because they kissed and I saw it and I was like, do it. I was like, end the movie there. And then they ended it and I was like, yes, you did it. You ruined it completely. It's terrible. It was awesome. It was one of the best movie experiences I've had in a while. Just having a movie end there. My goodness.
I like the one review that I found that speaks the clearest on what this movie is Bill Gibran of Pop Matters. He called the film insensitive, adding, "It was clearly crafted as a wake-up call to all the nasty normals out there. It substitutes schmaltz for sincerity to create a heated hate crime all its own."
Yeah.
That's what I chose for our podcast this week.
Oh.
Yeah, that pretty
So
much
Dan,
sums it up.
did you have a good time watching Tiptoes?
Yeah.
No. No, I sure did not.
I feel like you struggle with that scale of like the so bad it's good scale. Usually I feel like we watch Battlefield Earth and you're like, I can't. You're like, it's
I loved
me.
Battlefield
I
Earth.
can't.
Oh, Sean didn't
I
love that
love
one.
Battlefield
My
Earth.
bad.
This movie was not so bad it's good. This
I don't
movie
know.
was just fucking bad.
I mean, yes.
There was nothing. I mean, the only so bad it's good moment I think there was in the entire film was when Gary Oldman walks in on his, I think, girlfriend having sex with this celebrity guy, and they're just like fucking at this party. And it's only funny because they're fucking at this party in a room full of windows on the first floor, like directly looking out into the party.
Like
Yeah.
a pool house made of windows with all the party guests around it watching.
David Allen Greer.
With
as
David
the guy
Allen
who's fucking her.
Greer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the only moment where it felt kind of like a bad raunchy comedy vibe to it. But everything else was just horrible. Like,
No, didn't you like the part where they were in bed and as like kind of like romantic sexy talk, she asks him if he ever had sex with a little person, and he's like, only playing doctor, and she responds with, what, you had a circle jerk with a bunch of little people? I'd love to see that. And then it like goes into them making out and having one assumes having sex. So
no, doesn't that scene end with her being like, actually, you have an ambivalence towards little people and you need therapy?
that is that scene. There are so
That's
many
that scene.
scenes in the bed where they whisper and I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear anyone in this movie.
No. And then the first scene when it's just her alone in her apartment and he comes home and like you can have a conversation. It's midday. You're alone in your apartment and they're whispering everything to each other.
Their apartment, their warehouse that they live in together.
With his
Ridiculous
fireman
movie
trainer
apartments.
money.
Yeah, fireman.
Well, no, it's
training
probably
money.
her. It's probably her painter money.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Of
Yeah.
Well,
course.
did you also notice that every time
They,
there's
they must have a podcast on the side.
yeah.
The Citizen Kane of the week is